What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Nerdicane here doing another video. Y'all are going to get sick of me over the next couple days. I got a bunch of videos coming out. Right now, driving back from picking up a pizza from one of my two favorite places, Fellini's over on Ponce de Leon. This and Savage Pizza near my place. Probably two of my favorite pizza places. But I digress as I talk about pizza, which I absolutely love. Another love of my life is comic books, and that's what we're here to talk about. Peter Simeti wants you buying comic books. He wants you buying Alterna Comic Books. And he is probably the hardest working CEO in all of comic books. I challenge every other CEO in the comic industry to be as enthusiastic, embracing of the fans, and open as Peter Simeti. I just got done reading a Bleeding Fool article about Alterna Comics and the explosion of Alterna Comics. Now, Alterna Comics is a couple years old. They're not very old, but we talk about craft comic books. We talk about Red Rooster. We talk about Jawbreakers. We talk about these passion projects like Cyberfrog and things like that. We talk about the craft comic books, and I started calling craft comic books a few months ago, and that is what Alterna Comics has always been. Creator driven. It's a very small series. They don't have they don't have a universe like Image tried to do, like Marvel has and DC has. What they do are limited series, short 4, 5, 6 issue runs of storytellers. Usually it's the same person doing the art as the story, telling their story, a beginning, middle, end, and just being done with it. And that's what Alterna Comics is, and that's what they do, and it's absolutely beautiful. But reading this article from Bleeding Fool, once again, thank you, Bleeding Fool, for doing this, for getting them some exposure out in the world. Apparently their readership is up 700%, and their sales are up 250% over 2016. That is, historically, that is sort of what IDW did back when IDW was good. Now, that was probably over a decade ago, but in this modern age, when comic shops are dying and comic books are sort of a fading medium, for a company to do that, it shows that there is absolute care being taken of the comic book media from Alterna Comics, from Peter Simeti, who is the CEO. So yeah, I want to get a shout out to that, and I want to do a little bit more. This is my part to get a little more exposure to Alterna Comics. The comics run the gamut of, it's a wide variety. There are, some of the things that I love is a very, I don't want to say, sort of a cerebral sci-fi thriller called Trespasser. Trespasser's probably been my favorite from Alterna Comics. Tinseltown is pretty good. What is the other one? Mother Russia. If you love zombies, you will love Mother Russia. Mother Russia is great. Historically speaking, if you love history and you love zombies, you're going to love Mother Russia. Because imagine the Battle of Stalingrad, only all of the dead at the Battle of Stalingrad, and there were a lot, turned into zombies. And that's sort of the premise of Mother Russia. I just got done doing the series Doppelganger, which I love, kind of an Outer Limits, Twilight Zone sci-fi thriller. I really liked that Doppelganger. There's Scrimshaw. I haven't got around to reading Scrimshaw. Lilith Dark. And these are all... Oh, Mr. Crip. Mr. Crip was fun. That's another one that I recommend. But Alterna Comics used to be sold in Toys R Us, but we all know what happened to Toys R Us. So it's kind of crazy in a day and age when comic books are fading and they're slipping away, that a company has that type of boom in a year shows that there is a path. Comics aren't dead. You just have to find people, and it's the thing that's missing from comic books nowadays. You have to find people in charge who give a damn. And That's the problem with Marvel, and that's starting to become the problem with DC, is they don't really give a damn about comic books. They think there's something else, like a lifestyle brand, or I don't know what DC was thinking with the Vertigo line. But that's all I got on this. Once again, go check out Peter Simeti on Twitter. Go check out Alterna Comics on Twitter. If you don't, a lot of comic book stores, and that's another thing that they've overcome, they have a really weird, really small distribution. They're not in every comic book store. It's really can be a bit of a challenge to find Alterna Comics in places. But to kind of circumvent that, you can go to Etsy. Alterna Comics has an Etsy store. You can buy full runs of their stories that have already been published from Etsy, and usually, since you're buying them directly from Alterna Comics, there's usually a discount on it. So you can pick up, you know what, to be honest, you don't really need a discount. Alterna Comics are $1.50 in a day and age when Marvel keeps jacking up the price. They put out newsprint, which I love newsprint. The smell of newsprint, the feel of it, it just takes me back to my early days in comic books. But yeah, you can go to Etsy. I'm going to link to the Etsy store. Go check out Alterna. Trust me, they have something for you. They have a comic book that you're going to love. Put in the effort. Go find Alterna Comics. Go to Etsy. Ask your local retailer. Ask your local comic book store if they'll start carrying it. I mean, what do they have to lose? It's $1.50 for a comic. I mean, it's pretty much sells itself. But that's all I got. I'm Nerdicane. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Be ready to be sick of me, because I got a lot of videos coming out between the next 72 hours. That's all I got. Thanks. You guys have a good day.